Hey everyone, we have a whole heap of new designs to choose from in the merch store. I really think you're gonna like some of these. Please go and check them out. The link you need is in the description down below. Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here and welcome to another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form, or a branched evolution, or a counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between those Pokemon and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome Battle between them just for a little bit of fun. If you're a fan of Form Fight and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying this series, and of course hit the subscribe button if you're new so you never miss an episode. With all that out the way, let's take a look at today's challenger. Today on Form Fight, we're going to be looking at the two forms of Floette, which are Floette and Eternal Flower Floette. Now, as of Generation 7, Floette is only found in its regular form and in various petal colours: red, blue, yellow, orange and white. An Eternal Flower Floette is not obtainable in any Pokemon game. But what makes these two forms of Floette so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, both forms of Floette stand at 0.2 meters tall and weigh 0.9 kilograms. Floette's Pokedex information says it raises flowers and uses them as weapons. The more gorgeous the blossom, the more power it contains. It gives its own power to flowers. Pouring its heart into caring for them, Floette never forgives anyone who messes up a flower bed. As for Eternal Flower Floette, the flower it's holding can no longer be found blooming anywhere. It's also thought to contain terrifying power. Terrifying energy is concealed within its ominous flower, but Floette still swings it about innocently. Appearance-wise, both are tiny little creatures holding on to floating flowers, with regular Floettes looking healthier, whereas Eternal Flowers kinda looks a little darker and somewhat withered. In their shiny forms, Floette's light green areas change to lilac, and Eternal Flower Floette's blue areas turn to pink. Now let's have a look at the typing, weaknesses and resistances of these Pokemon forms. Both forms of Floette are pure Fairy-type Pokemon, which makes them weak to Poison and Steel-type moves. They both resist Fighting, Bug and Dark-type attacks, and are completely immune to Dragon-type moves. Now let's take a look at the stats and abilities of these Floette forms. Floette, being a middle-stage evolution, hasn't reached its full potential, and its stats reflect this. Whilst it does have decent special defense and average special attack, the rest of its stats are lackluster at best, leaving this Pokemon outgunned in most battles. As for Eternal Flower Floette, which cannot evolve, its stats are much more impressive, with fantastic special attack and special defense, and a base stat total that's 1 point lower than that of Florges. Both these Pokemon have the same abilities, with their primary ability being Flower Veil, which prevents Grass-type allies from being inflicted with status conditions or having their stats lowered. This of course is no help to Floette itself, and does restrict you to only really using it in double battles or triple battles, because you're going to need some Grass-type allies, you're going to need to be in a battle where you can use allies. And really, it kind of forces you to have at least one grass type, if not more, to really get the full benefit out of this ability, which makes it kind of lame. Their hidden ability is Symbiosis, which causes Floette to pass its held item onto its ally once its ally has used its own held item. This is a super fun ability to use, as you can give Belly Drum Pokemon Life Orbs and Choice Scarves after a berry's restored their health, or even give Leftovers to a Poison Heal Gliscor after it's flung away as Toxic Orb. There's so many possibilities with this ability, it just makes it really unpredictable. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two forms of Floette I prefer, and I'm leaning towards AZ's Floette, Eternal Flower Floette, because it's just got better stats. It's closer to the stats of Florges, although in a slightly different arrangement. Technically, Florges has a better stat distribution, in my opinion. It's a lot bulkier, it can last a lot longer than Eternal Flower Floette, but we're not comparing Florges and Eternal Flower Floette. We are comparing Floette itself and Eternal Flower Floette. So in that comparison, I'm going to go with Eternal Flower, just because it's the same Pokemon, just with much better base stats, like just a higher caliber. But of course, it's not just up to me to decide, it's up to you guys to decide which is your favorite. But before you do, it's time to see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome Battle. Before we get started, I will point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats. They're not holding any items. They've got neutral natures, they've got the same abilities, they've got the same typing. The only advantage or disadvantage any of these Pokemon get comes from their base stats. Everything else is all up to the metronome. Let's go. Here we go, it's Eternal Flower Floette versus regular Floette. Oh boy, the Pokemon that literally cannot be used in any manner in a legal fashion whatsoever versus an unevolved, not quite there Pokemon. This is going to be wonderful. We have shiny Eternal starting things off with Dragon Claw, which doesn't affect the opposing team. Nobody's going to get hit by Dragon type moves in this battle. Regular Eternal going for Fell Stinger. It is going to be resisted, as all fairy types resist bug type moves. So now it's over to the regular Floette team. That was a critical hit though on that Fell Stinger. Give him a little bit of credit. Here is regular Floette with a Leaf Tornado, which is going to be on the Shiny Eternal. Of course, Eternal really has the upper hand here in terms of base stats. It's got an fully evolved Pokemon's base stats. Here's Laser Focus getting ready for a critical hit is Shiny Floette. Is that going to work in its favor, or is it going to end up using a status move on the next turn and completely wasting it? We'll find out. But here comes Shiny Eternal, who is going to go for Night Slash, which again will be resisted by Shiny Floette. Not very effective, but another critical hit there. So they're getting these critical hits as the Eternal team, which is really lucky for them. Here's regular Eternal, who is going to go for Bubble. That will hit both the regular Floette there for a little bit of chip damage. It's not looking good for Shiny Floette already. Already almost nearly down to half HP. Here's a Poison Jab, though. That will be super effective from regular Floette onto Shiny Eternal for massive damage there. Doesn't get the poison, though. Now it's time for Shiny Floette to follow up. Will it be able to... oh, it goes for Sandstorm. Exactly what we said. So the critical hit from the Laser Focus completely wasted, but here's Sandstorm, which is going to buffet every Pokemon on the field at the end of this turn. So here we go. Eternal gets some chip damage from that Sandstorm over to the Shiny Eternal, who is now down to less than half its max HP. There's regular Floette getting buffeted as well, and Shiny Floette is now down to less than half HP as well. Both the Shiny Floettes in this battle are already struggling. What's going to happen here? We see regular Eternal, I should say, going for Psychic, which is going to do a hefty amount of damage there, bringing regular Floette down to less than half its max HP. And here comes Shiny Eternal Floette going for Aqua Ring. Going to heal up. Each time it gets hit by the Sandstorm now, it's going to heal itself back up with that Aqua Ring. So not a bad play at all there. And here comes regular Floette returning with an Ice Punch onto the Shiny Eternal there for a bit of chip damage, bringing Shiny Eternal down closer and closer to the danger zone. And here's Shiny Floette with Harden, wants to improve its defense, increase its staying power on the field. We'll see how that benefits later on in this battle, I imagine. There's the Sandstorm damage, which is going to hit everybody once again. Don't worry, guys. We've only got this for 3 more turns. Don't worry. Sit back and relax. You love Sandstorm buffeting. Don't be... I see you saying no in the comments. You love Sandstorm buffets. They're the best things to sit through. They're wonderful. Here comes regular Eternal. What will it do here? It's going to go for Lunge. Again, not very effective bug-type move on the Shiny Floette there. A little bit of chip damage, drops the attack stat by 1 stage as well. And here comes Shiny Eternal. What's it going to do? What will it go for? Goes for Rollout. Now, this could get very, very dangerous if this gets powered up. Decent damage there to regular Floette. And here comes Shiny Floette. What's it going to go for? Going to go for Heat Wave. And which Pokemon? It's going to be on both the Floette, I should say. Heat Wave hits everybody. Come on, mate. But gets a burn on Shiny Eternal. Halves the power of that rollout. Very good timing there on the burn. And here comes regular Floette, who's going to go for Payday. Which Eternal? On the Shiny Eternal. They really want to take care of this Eternal. It's going to take burn damage and Sandstorm damage. And it's got that Aqua Ring there as well. Here comes the Sandstorm damage first of all, which is hitting everybody on the field. Not looking good for the regular Floette team, though. They are in a difficult place. There's the Aqua Ring restoring the HP of Shiny Eternal. And there's the burn, bringing it straight back down. So Eternal's got probably 1 more turn in it. It only gets to use Rollout this turn, so we know what's coming from there. Here's regular Eternal going for Floral Healing. What a mistake to make. Oh dear. Healing up the regular Floette there. Half its maximum HP. That was that some pity on the part of Eternal there? Here comes Shiny Eternal though with that Rollout straight back onto that regular Floette, so no love lost there. Here's Shiny Floette, who is going to go for Disarming Voice. That's going to hit both the opposing Floette there. So Shiny Eternal is the first casualty in this battle. No more are we going to have two Eternal Floettes. Just 1 versus the 2 regulars. Here's a Sucker Punch that is going to fail because it's supposed to be used at the start of the turn by the regular Floette there. There's the Sandstorm damage on Eternal, on Shiny Floette, and then on the regular Floette as well. I think that's the last turn of Sandstorm, possibly. I think it's been 5. Have you been keeping count? Let me know in the comments below. Here's Entrainment, which is going to fail because all these Pokemon have the same ability. So now it's over to Shiny Floette to capitalize on Eternal's mistake here. Goes for Fling, but it's not holding an item, so makes a mistake itself. Over to regular Floette to try and pick up the pieces here, and it goes for Knockoff. Not going to be very effective, but it does bring Eternal down to the yellow, to less than half its max HP. There goes the Sandstorm. Well countered, lads. If you countered that this turn was the correct turn for Sandstorm to end, give yourself a pat on the back and go fuck yourself. Here's a Nightshade, though, which is going to do exactly 50 hit points onto Shiny Floette, knocking it right out. I love that I just skipped over that. That was beautiful. Wow, how you doing? So here's regular Floette versus regular Eternal, going for focus energy, wants to get a critical hit, wants to end this battle for its team, take down its more powerful opponent, who actually healed it, so, you know, bit of a friend there, kind of an ally, so I can see why I'd get mixed up. Dragon Breath is going to miss from the Eternal Floette over to regular Floette once again. What will it do with that increased crit chance? Goes for Psych Up and copies the stat changes of the Eternal Floette. Can't remember the stat changes that have been on it, though, so I hope it was worthwhile. And here comes Eternal Flower Floette, who is going to go for Fire Pledge. Do a little bit of Fire-type damage there. Great Fire-type damage to Floette there, bringing it down to 28 hit points. What will it do in response? Goes for Dual Chop, which is the Dragon-type move, and will completely not hit Eternal. That was terrible. It's immune. It doesn't hit. It's immune, okay? That's all you need to know. It's an immunity. Here's a Luster Purge from Eternal onto regular Floette. That should do a decent amount of damage there and gets the knockout. The Eternal team, as probably most of you expected, has won the battle. Well done to Eternal Flower Floette. This is your moment of glory because you're never going to be in any other games. Maybe you'll be in Sword and Shield. LOL! So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of the two forms of Floette is your favourite? Is it Floette, or is it Eternal Flower Floette? Let me know in the comments and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support this channel like the wonderful people down here do, pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrainerLiam. For live streams 5 days a week, head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainerLiam. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.